Alright, so I've been playing a lot of Duel Links lately, and I wanted to show off some duels with one of my favorite decks. So this is a budget deck I made, so just to play some extra games with. A lot of these cards are you start with at the beginning of the game. They're pretty easy to find. There's a lot of staple old rituals in here, but my main thing about this deck is this card here. Vennu, the Bright Bird of Divinity. You can see this effect here. I'm going to show you how it works once we get into some duels I have saved. But as you can see, it says you can ritual summon this card with Primal Cry. Once per turn, you can reveal one monster in your hand, then one monster on the field. Change those levels so that they equal the same level. If I tribute a card while this card is on the field, I can target one monster in my graveyard and add it to my hand. It's a pretty useful effect. Here's its ritual spell here, Primal Cry. It's pretty simple. It ritual summons Vennu, the Bright Bird of Divinity. But one extra effect it has is if a ritual monster was sent from the field to the graveyard in the turn that this card was used, you can special summon a ritual monster in the graveyard. Here, I'm going to show you some duels and let you see how this deck works. Let's see here. Replays. Some of these duels should contain the decks I'm looking for. I think this guy. Let's play this duel. Let's see what he got here. So we have myself versus Yuji, and I should be using the new ritual deck that I made. And when I say new, it's new because I made it, not new because it's actually new. Like, these are all old cards. These are all old cards. So let's start here. First thing this guy does is summon Cyber's Gadget. Then he immediately links it off to get Lingaribo. He uses the effect of Cyber's Gadget in the graveyard to summon some tokens. He links those tokens off to get Sprite Sprined. Sprite Sprine's effect sends a level 2 to the graveyard. A card was sent to the graveyard, so this Bestial gets summoned here. And because this card was banished, you can special summon this card as well. Gets Predaplant's Verite Anaconda. Sends a Bestial to his graveyard. Changes that card to dark and ends his turn. Alright. So you can see my starting hand here. I have some incantation cards in my hand and Vennu. So let's see what I can do. By revealing the Vennu in my hand, I can special summon the Incantation Talismandra and the Candle to get Primal Cry into my hand. I normal summon Sinju to add Incantation Krialtar. I use Primal Cry, ritual summon, tribute off these cards. Vennu, the Bright Bird of Divinity, is out. Then, because I have two level 6 and level 4 star, I can special summon the level 10 Krialtar from my hand using the ritual spell. Then, because I tributed, I add the Sinju into my hand. Then I add Preparation of Rites, put Chalice Lime and Incantation Inception in my hand. I use Chalice Lime's effect to discard the Inception to get the Bookstone. And I actually effed up here. Because Krialtar is on the field, its effect is negated. So I couldn't use Bookstone's effect. But I got 3 attacks off and passed the turn over to my opponent. Oh, I didn't pass the turn over. I used Krialtar's effect to send that card to the graveyard to get this card back. Just so you guys can understand. When this card is in your graveyard, I can send an incantation monster from my hand or field to the graveyard to special summon an incantation monster from my deck. And then when I do that, I can add this card back into my hand. Because I special summon this, I put the Krialtar just into the graveyard back in my hand and get this out. I'd make those 2 cards the same level, tribute that card off, and summon the Krialtar Originator again. Of course, because I used the effect that allowed me to put a card from my deck to my hand, from my graveyard to my hand this turn, so I can't use the effect again. Now, unfortunately, about these 3 cards here on the field, they don't have anything that stops what my opponent does, so everything my opponent is going to do here is going to be totally uninterrupted by me. Mirror Jade and what is that card? I didn't get to see it. Bestial Rebellion and Mirror Jade Iceblade Dragon are on the field. So there goes my Originator. He shuffles that back in my deck and then destroys both of my cards here. And then he passes the turn over to me, because I don't think he has any more plays this turn. Oh, yes he does. He sets Branded Beast and ends his turn. Man, you never get enough of Branded in meta, dude. It's such a popular archetype. That was the perfect top deck, let me just say. So I got really excited when I saw Rash, because I think it was the only out I had to this field. And I drew it off the top of my deck. Anyway, Talismandra is summoned, which allows me to draw a ritual monster from my deck. Then I use Senju's effect to add a... Oop, what's he doing here? This card gets destroyed. That's perfectly fine. I add some Machine Angel Ritual in my hand. Alright, I'm trying to summon Vrash. Then I discard a card to summon 2 monsters whose level equal 10 incantations onto the field. Then I play Machine Angel Ritual to summon Cyber Angel Vrash, and use its effect to destroy the Mirror Jade and deal 1,000 damage to my opponent. Because I did this, Rash can actually attack twice this turn, and that is the end of the duel. Yeah, Vennu was very supportive of this duel. You didn't get to see too much of it in play, but that was enough to show off how cool the card was a little bit. Let me see if I can find another duel concerning Vennu. Ah, here we go. Here's the same deck. You can tell it's a Vennu deck because I have Primal Cry in the starting hand. And this lets me to summon one of my favorite old ritual monsters, Vennu, the Bright Bird of Divinity. Honestly, I should call this deck Primal Cry instead of New Ritual. But anyway, let's get started. So what's the first thing I do? I show off the Talismandra and the ritual monster in my hand to special summon Kandal. When Kandal is special summoned, I can get Inception into my hand. Then I normal summon Senju to get Vennu into my hand. The first thing I do is ritual summon Vennu. By ritual summoning Vennu, by tributing Diviner of the Herald, I can add a level 2 or lower fairy monster. I add Herald of the Orange Light. It's the negate Herald. But of course it's not in my hand, but that's whatever. I target a card on the field and target a card in my hand and make those two the same level, which is a really cool effect. Allows me to get this Originator out for less cost. And because I did that, I can get Diviner of the Herald back in my hand. These 2 fairies I link off for Sprite Elf. Then I use Sprite Elf's effect to summon the Herald of the Orange Light and the Vennu. I link those 2 off to get Herald of the Mirage Lights. And because Primal Cry was used this turn and a ritual monster was sent to the graveyard, I can special summon that ritual monster back in the field. So Vennu is very hard to get rid of, as you can see. Very good card that is very difficult to get rid of. And as you can see, this guy kind of more or less gives up. So I special summon the Orange Light during his turn and just pass it over to me. Yeah, this guy had lost all his hope. So these Sonic Birds become really good being Vennu's in the field because it allows me to tribute a monster. Anyway, I target the 2 cards that are the same level. I target 2 cards and make them the same level. Because those 2 cards in the field are the same level, I can now summon Herald of the Arclight. And then I special summon that card and Herald of the Mirage Lights to special summon Gigantic Sprite. So one of the few times I summon Gigantic Sprite in this deck. That actually isn't very common, but I do that. Ah, the classic Ben 10 play. Oh, I'm actually ritual summoning for Ben 10. Interesting. I usually ritual summon using Ben 10 as material, but I guess I just didn't have a choice. But that was the only thing I could have summoned that turn anyway, or in that moment. And that's another win for me, thanks to Vennu. So as you can see, the ability to change your monster's level and make them whatever you want, and the ability to get any monster from your graveyard to your hand, very powerful effect. That's the best thing about this text right here. It's not any ritual monster or any ritual spell or something in the archetype that would help Vennu, even though Vennu isn't part of any real archetype other than, unless you call Primal Cry part of its archetype. The best thing about this card is I can grab any one monster in my graveyard and put it back to my hand. You can grab Maxi, you can grab Ash, you can grab any monster that you can add to your hand from your graveyard, you can do it. Alright, Benton and Primal Cry, my starting hand. Let's show this off. So the first thing I do is show off the incantation because I have ritual cards in my hand. I can special summon it and another incantation monster. Talismandra gives me a ritual monster. I use Primal Cry to special summon. I keep saying special summon, I should say ritual summon. I ritual summon Vennu. Because I use Benton as material for the ritual summon, I can add a fairy to my hand. I add Diviner of the Herald into my hand, then discard Herald of the Arclight to get Chalice Line. By discarding a card with Chalice Line, I can add Candle to my hand, which adds a ritual card to my deck to my hand. Using Inception, I can special summon the Chalice Line. And because I tributed a monster, I can add a card to my deck from my graveyard to my hand. I'm going to add the Benton. I keep saying deck. I'm sorry, guys. And then in my turn. Of course, I didn't use Primal Cry. Oh, I did use Primal Cry. Why didn't it let me... Huh. Maybe I used Inception. I wasn't even paying attention. What did I use this turn to summon? I'm almost definitely... Yeah, I used Primal Cry. I don't know. I must have toggled off or something. For some reason, I should have been able to use Primal Cry to special summon a card. Anyway, let's go back and try to focus on what just happened. So, it's my opponent's turn, right? On my opponent's turn, let's start on what just happened. He tried to use a Dark Magical Circle, but because I have Mirage Lights, I can discard a fairy and negate the effect. Thank God, I absolutely hate Dark Magical Circle, dude. One of my least favorite cards to go up against. All it can do is special summon a Dark Magician and this Dark Magician lookalike and then just turn. By destroying Herald of the Mirage Light, I can add some spell cards. Some ritual cards from my deck to my hand. From my graveyard, to my hand. I don't know why I'm so mush-mouthed today. Anyway, I reveal the Talismandra and the Ritual Monster to summon Talismandra and another incantation card to put Chalice Line back in my hand. Then I normal summon Senju to grab a Benton, use Primal Cry. By tributing the Benton and the Senju, I can ritual summon Vennu, the Bright Bird of Divinity. Benton effect, add Vrash to my hand. Then Incantation Inception, add another incantation monster from the deck to the field. Because it was special summoned, I can add Machine Angel Ritual. Tribute off these two cards to get Vrash. Vrash effect active. Oh, excuse me. Vennu's effect activates get Benton back. Then Vrash effect activates destroy an extra deck monster and deal 1,000 life points of damage. Then I play Incantation Inception, and then he activates Magic Aribo to special summon another Dark Magician. Surprising that he had another play, but I don't think it really was enough. Anyway, Benton comes out, and we go into our battle phase. Machine Angel Ritual protects Cyber Angel Vrash. Vrash gets to attack twice, which leaves Vennu and Benton able to attack my opponent directly. Main phase 2. Link 3 off all these cards to get Decode Talker out into the field. And during the end phase, because a ritual monster was sent to the graveyard, I can target a ritual card in my graveyard and special summon. So Decode Talker is now boosted and Vrash is on the field, and either one of them can protect each other. I summon the Senju to give Decode Talker more of a boost. Then activate Incantation Inception to discard my Incantation and put Incantation Inception back in my hand. Pensive Plume comes out and then adds Vennu in my hand. I can't really do anything with these cards, so I just attack directly. He attacks with that. I say whatever, crash into him, and Decode Talker attacks him directly for game. But yeah, that's how the deck works. I hope you enjoyed it. Vennu is a really cool card. I wish it got more use. I know why it doesn't. It's quite a bit slow, and rituals just aren't that good anyway. But it's just fun to play with some mid-ass decks, and here's another mid-ass deck you can play with a really cool level 8 ritual monster. Okay, alright, see you guys later, man.